Hey, family, thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to talk with you tonight about what I've been eating lately. Um, and my part of my journey, I would say, from vegetarian diet, even vegan at times, to a carnivore diet now. And when I say carnivore, I mean a lot of people use the term loosely. But what I want to say is I cook my meat products, um, and I eat mostly, I would say, ground beef, ground pork, bacon, and eggs, and um, occasionally I would say I eat raw cheese, organic, and I eat totally organic as well. So part of what experienced over the years. So um, in the beginning, I had a lot of struggles with digestion, and I was just eating, pretty much a clean version of the standard American diet. And so, I mean, I would have fast food at times. So I would eat out at restaurants and um, things like that. I have, you know, Italian food, Chinese food, different types of food. And what was, similar with all those different types of food is that I was struggling with digestion. And I was wondering, what can I do to turn it around? Because I really didn't know um, how I could fix the digestion itself. So a friend of mine, when I was on an internship, suggested cutting out meat from my diet, right? So I go from um, vegetarian to carnivore now. But yes, so I did at the time, I went vegetarian, so I took meat out, but we could still eat fish. Some people would call that pescatarian. Those are all variations on, vegetarian, vegan diets. I, but vegetarian, I would say variation on vegetarian diet. So I went vegetarian. I was eating fish. I was still eating dairy products, and um, over time, it was still a struggle to digest. And then I heard about, a lot of people having issues with bread, and bread was really hard for me to digest as well. So I said, well, I'll take that out too. So no meat, no bread, but I had fish. I got a cookbook so I could figure out what it was that I could eat. But before I took bread and bread products out, I would say, I mean, I ate a lot of Italian foods, pizza. I would have sandwiches. I would have cake, cookies, ice cream sandwiches, all that stuff. So, like I said, the standard American diet. So I was still eating the standard American diet, chips, all that, ice cream. And slowly, when I took bread and bread products out, I noticed things got better for me. Um, Now I was pretty tired, so it affected my energy. But sorry about the noise. But so I ended up taking out bread and bread products, and that was better. But I was still eating some dairy, fish. And this is just sort of like a concise version of my journey. I'll actually probably just do longer videos later to tell you, but I'm trying to do a quick synopsis of what was happening. So I eventually went um, to fruitarian, and that was fine. It was just not for me. I wanted more variety in my food. Um, I ended up doing some fasting here and there. So I did the first time I did a fast, it was a 3-day liquid fast with a friend. Got really good results with that, but my stomach was felt so much better without eating anything. I know it's strange. Some people might not think that that's the case, but that was my experience of it. And so I would go on to do a 7 or 8 day dry fast. And I think it wasn't as good. Now getting fresh air and stuff like that is really important. It's vital. So I wasn't doing that, and so that made a difference while I was on that dry fast, but it didn't really bother me. Um, so ended up going, like I said, fruitarian, and then I added rice back in eventually, and I was raw fruitarian. So, and that was the best, like as far as energy, that was the best time that I experienced with energy. I hardly needed any sleep. Um, it was great. It was easy. I could eat fruit on the go. It was really easy. But like I said, I wanted more variety. So I wanted to add more cooked food into my diet now. Over time, I stuck with that vegan diet, but instead of fruit, I was just adding in, brown rice. I added in a few other things that I was cooking. And when I added back more cooked food, I would say I had an incident. It was my birthday, and I've been, vegan, vegetarian, back and forth for years. But at the time, I was pretty much raw vegan, except maybe once a week, once every couple weeks, I would have something cooked. Um, and I decided it was my birthday, I was going to eat some ratatouille. Big mistake. I, over the years, really hadn't had breakouts on my face before. I had terrible breakouts. And at that time, mind you, I was not eating any um, nuts, seeds. I got to the point that it was hard to digest them as well. So I stopped those. And I was just eating fruits and vegetables, basically. Um, and when I ate some of the cooked food, now it's important to note at the time I had pots and pans and things still that had Teflon in them. Since then, I've thrown them away, and now I use stainless steel, cast iron, or glass. Um, I don't really use anything else, but that having something with the Teflon um, was really a struggle because I think that the poisons in the Teflon also affected my skin. Sorry if you can hear noise in the background. But so I was really affected in a really bad way by that, and had the breakouts. I didn't know what was wrong, and it was really, really bad. Had eczema and dermatitis. It was really, really bad. And I had no idea how to stop it. So it was embarrassing and all of that. And I guess you never really know what the experience is like until you go through it, and then you understand, because your face is usually the first thing that people see when they meet you. It can just be, I made a video about a little bit of this, but it can just be really really a bad experience. So I ended up doing my research, and I'd been following Dr. Joel Wallach, who wrote the book Dead Doctors Don't Lie, and made videos. And as a product line, Longevity, I've been taking his multivitamin and digestive enzymes, hair, skin, and nail vitamins, things like that. And I would say they're really great products. They've been great in my experience. But so I ended up doing research because I had the book Dead Doctors Don't Lie, but I didn't know the proper names for anything that was going on with me. So I started doing research, looking up videos, things like that. Eventually, I found a video with the young lady that was talking about taking out things that you have allergies to. I also found a video that a chiropractor did that was talking about incorporating like bone broth and things like that. And so I ended up getting gelatin, beef, organic beef gelatin. I ordered on eBay. I got the supplements that were recommended for the acne, the dermatitis, eczema, and started doing just a pulse test off the internet to, I believe it was called the Coca Pulse test, but I started seeing, from this test, and I never really did a test with a doctor's office, a physician's office to check my allergies. I just went off of the Coca Pulse test. And when I did that, I took the stuff out of my diet, started supplementing with the organic beef gelatin, and it worked miracles. My skin cleared up, the eczema, the dermatitis, all that stuff cleared up. The scars have cleared up. It's been since that time, I haven't had any more breakouts. And if I can see any small thing, on my face, small bump or something, then I know, oh, it was something that I ate. But usually that would be because I was eating plant products, nightshades like tomatoes, bell peppers, and I decided to cut that out just recently, like within the last week, I would say. And so here and there, I've been eating tomato. I had lettuce. I had dandelion greens, collard greens. I had a little bit of those things as I was transitioning because, I guess I would call it the keto version of the carnivore diet. But I've been eating for the last couple days meat, I would say, probably still since the beginning of the week. I probably have been eating like 80% of my food in meat. And I would say today, because yesterday I was traveling, yesterday I had some flaxseed meal. But today would be the first day that I started being 100% just eating all meat. So meat and eggs. So ground beef, ground pork, a little bacon, eggs, maybe a little tuna added in there. So far, so good. I want to come back and give you an update, but I noticed that I have more energy. I'm stronger. My skin, like I said, I don't get breakouts unless I'm eating like something that I know I have a sensitivity to, a little bit of a sensitivity. And maybe a lot of people have this experience, but the nightshades, the tomatoes and bell peppers and eggplants, things that I need to just stay away from right now. And so I've been watching videos from Dr. Anthony Chafee, from the Black Carnivore, from Dr. Ken Berry, from Dr. I believe his name is Dr. Paul Saladino. I've been watching Dr. Eric Berg's videos, Dr. Sean Baker's videos, just the steak and butter gal. I've been watching some of Lily's videos, just watching a lot of different types of videos. And the one that I would say is probably one of the most shocking is, plants are trying to kill you. But over the years, I've actually been talking with others about this and saying, you need to switch up what you're eating because, plants will bioaccumulate and try to hurt you because they don't want to die. And so this is something that's not a new concept to me. It's just thinking about it in a different way. So I will just say, I'm going to conclude this video for now, but it's important to consider thinking about these things in a different way, thinking, why would we continue to eat a diet that's so large in plants, fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and things if they're eventually trying to kill us because they don't want to die, they want to survive. So I think it's just something to consider whether you change your diet completely or not. It's up to you. But I would say I've been feeling better. I've been stronger. Actually, I had a rebounder and I was able to close it and actually reopen it again on my own, which is something I wasn't able to do before. I did that, started, the mostly cooked meat and eggs diet, and like I said, a little bit of raw cheese, but it's been quite a journey, and so I want to come to you and talk with you more about my experience with this. But I would say a lot of people are bashing vegetarian and vegan diets and saying, "Oh, it's terrible." And once I got on the carnivore diet, it was just all, you know, amazing from there. And like, because like I said, having a raw vegan diet, eating raw vegan is one of the best times in terms of my experience of having energy, not needing sleep. Um, it was amazing to eat a meal and not feel like you need to take a nap. Um, it was amazing. And so what I've noticed on the carnivore diet, though, is that my energy is pretty even. That I get to a certain time of night and it's, dark. I feel like I want to go to sleep. I'm sleeping more soundly, I would say, better. Um, Longer periods of time that I'm sleeping. And that's my journey has been a pretty interesting one. And I'll come back and I'll do more videos. But for now, I just wanted to do a kind of short, concise discussion about my journey over the years. But by no means am I bashing vegetarian and vegan and saying it's been terrible. The worst thing is not having the animal fat in my body. So when I was exposing myself to the cooked um, nightshades like the eggplant, the tomato and bell peppers and stuff like that, that my body didn't have what it needed to deal with it to clear my skin up, and so I needed to incorporate more animal fat back into what I was eating, because then I started supplementing with certain things. And like I said, the beef gelatin, eating more meats, that means I'm getting more fat from, bacon. I was eating, tuna is not very fatty, but I was eating tuna, was eating eggs. Um, After a while, because I couldn't really tolerate eggs. I think for a time, then I, was able to add them back in, but it's been helpful to add really the fats in. If I just was doing vegetarian, I think I would be fine. Um, if I could supplement with fish oils, and like I said, the tuna, well, once in a while I'll have salmon, but I don't really care for salmon. But the vegetarian diet, I would say, is fine to eat fish, to have to supplement with fish oils, to eat eggs, to have dairy. I think that was fine for me, but I cut all that out, and I didn't have the fats that my body needed to deal with the toxins that I was putting in at that time. So not saying that, vegetarian, vegan, probably vegetarian would would have been a better route for me to go, because I didn't have the fat to deal with the situation. But then the question begs, probably for a lot of people, why do we need the animal fat to deal with it? Why can't we just get it from plants? And then that goes back to what Dr. Anthony Chaffee was saying and what I've seen so far in the literature years ago. And I've been researching it since 2007, 2006, probably 2007, 2008. And I've been seeing that plants will bioaccumulate and eventually you have to switch up, or, you know, the results can be really bad for you. It could be fatal, deadly. So, all right, so I'm going to end the video now. Thank you for joining me again, family. Hopefully this information is interesting and helpful for you. But I think there's a way that if people want to stay on vegetarian, they could have gotten some results. Maybe the optimal results will come from the carnivore diet. I know a lot of people feel bad about killing animals and things like that, and I don't want to do that either. And buy them, buy meat products from the store. But yeah, it's just interesting to think, why do we need the animal fats in our bodies to help with this type of stuff? So I'll bring you again another video soon, hopefully, giving you some more of my experience. But looking forward to taking on more fully the queen carnivore status. But eating foods that are going to help me feel good, have energy, and not have issues with allergies and things like that. So I want to take you on my journey with me to tell you how things are going with the carnivore. And so I'll do that. And until next time, love you as always. Happy lightning fast manifesting. All right. Bye for now.